this is Hedda. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Hedda and I make videos about bullet journaling, planning, and pen pal letters. Lots of stationery, and there will be lots of cool new stationery in this video as well. Today I am setting up my bullet journal for November, and I think it turned out super cute, so I'm really excited to show you. This video is very kindly sponsored by Notebook Therapy, and they've been sending over a few packages over the last month or so, and I thought I would show you everything that I got. So before we start with the actual bullet journal setup, I'll just do a little unboxing and show you everything, and then I'll put it all to good use in the setup. First, I want to show you some really pretty notebooks. This collection is called Maple Dreams, and it actually launched in September, so some of you may have seen these already, but here are the ones that I got. The first one is this gorgeous deep green Midnight Garden notebook. I think this color is so pretty, and it might be my favorite one from this collection. It comes with a little sprout paperclip in gold color, and it has gilded edges. Only some of Notebook Therapy's notebooks have gilded edges, so I think it makes it a little bit extra special. Next up is this brown Nara edition notebook, and fun fact, this design launched for the first time about a year ago, and it was the very first notebook that I got from Notebook Therapy. So this is a very special design for me. I love it so much. I keep seeing it around the bullet journal community as well, so I think it's safe to say that it's a fan favorite. So these two notebooks both have white paper, but what's special about the Maple Dreams collection is that there are 4 notebooks with Kraft paper. These are the first Kraft paper notebooks Notebook Therapy has released, and that's very exciting. The first one is the spiral notebook, which is a smaller size than A5, and it comes with a free washi sticker sheet. I think this is super handy for on-the-go notes, etc. It's also pretty lightweight because it has a softer cover. Next up we have the A5 Kraft paper notebooks, and I'm so excited I got all 3 of them. First up is this orange fox notebook, which is a beautiful deep orange. It comes with a really cute fox paper clip, and the Kraft paper is 150 GSM for those wondering about that. We of course also have another Nara notebook, but with Kraft paper this time. The brown cover goes so well with the Kraft paper, it's like they were meant to be. All of these notebooks have a velvety cover, so they're super smooth and feel really nice to the touch. The last notebook I got is this deep red mushroom notebook, which again comes in both white and Kraft paper. It's only the Midnight Garden notebook that doesn't come in both versions. The mushroom notebook is almost the same deep red color as my current bullet journal, which is the Tori notebook that was released last year. Colors of these notebooks look so pretty together. This has to be my favorite collection from Notebook Therapy so far. The covers just are so smooth and nice to touch. Oh, and by the way, if you stay until the end of the video, you'll get a chance to win one of these notebooks for yourself, so stay tuned for that. But there is so much more than just notebooks in this collection, so I want to show you all of that before we get into the spreads. First up, we of course have some pop-up pencil cases. There are 2 in this collection, but I've only got one of them here in the color stone. I really like that the top part is canvas, and although it doesn't have a design on it like many other pop-up pencil cases from Notebook Therapy, the difference in material with the cord on the bottom and the canvas on the top makes it really interesting still. It also has a cute little maple leaf icon on it. I always say this, but the best part about these pencil cases is that they're long enough to fit Tombow dual brush pens. Another new fun addition to this collection is the Maple Dreams stamp set, which has really cute fall themed stamps. I like the variety of the stamps because, as you can see, there are 5 smaller icon stamps and then a larger frame stamp. And then there's also some wider stamps that can be used almost as washi tape. I really appreciate that the wooden blocks aren't super tall, and that way the stamp set doesn't take up as much space. Next up is Notebook Therapy's bullet journal stencil set, which they released in a new color for this collection. The other 2 stencil sets are purple and green, so this warm orange is great for fall. I know it's just a different color, but it kind of makes me happy to have stationery that matches my bullet journal theme. There is of course a new washi tape set as well, and this set has so much variety in colors and materials, and I'd like to show you all of them. I actually have an extra set of these, so that will also be added to the giveaway at the end of the video. The washi tape set comes with 3 small sticker sheets and 10 different washi tapes. 3 of them are see-through tapes in 3 different sizes, which can be used in tons of different ways. The set also has 5 regular sized washi tapes with different patterns and colors, and I got so much use out of these for my November setup. I actually received the washi tape set in the mail on the same day that I filmed this, so this was my first look at all the tapes too. There's also a postage stamp tape roll, which as always is so fun and creative to use. There are 7 different stamp designs on it. And lastly, there's a roll of maple leaf washi stickers, which is really fun and different. These are actually really popular in Japan, so I'm very excited to see more stationery like this available online for the entire world, since Notebook Therapy ships everywhere. Probably the most exciting new product in this collection for me are these packages of scrapbook paper. There are 2 paper packs, one with handmade paper with actual flowers and leaves in them, and one with simpler paper in different colors. It also comes with a package of fall themed stickers, which I think is a really nice touch. The petal paper pack smells really good with all the dried flowers in there. I think that all the papers are a great size, and I really like the variety. It was about time I got a refill of ephemera and scrapbooking paper, and these are perfect. Lastly, there is also a tote bag in this collection. I've been using it a lot lately because it has this really pretty vintage mushroom design and it's just perfect for this season. I always use my Notebook Therapy tote bags when I'm mailing orders for my shop or sending out Patreon mail, so you might see me around Oslo with this tote bag. And with all of this unboxed and explored, I am ready to start planning for November. Mushroom season is pretty much over here. In Oslo, it was more like August, September actually, but I really wanted to do a mushroom theme, but not just any mushroom theme. I wanted to do a kind of magical forest with elves or sprites or whatever. So here I am drawing a little forest elf sitting on a poisonous mushroom. I think it's really funny how everyone loves to draw the red mushrooms with white spots on them, but they're super poisonous and you should definitely not eat them. But they're nice to look at and they're fun to draw as well. And also I wanted to have a lot of red and orange in my spreads and not just browns. I am drawing on a separate piece of paper for several reasons. First of all, I am using alcohol-based markers to color in my drawing. So I'm using Copic markers. Should definitely not use that in your bullet journal because it will bleed through the paper. It bleeds through this paper too, but it is marker paper, so it's better suited for markers. And the second reason is that I'm doing a collage theme, and then it's just easier to be able to glue in the drawing wherever it fits the best instead of drawing it directly onto the page. So that's what I'm doing. Here I'm just gathering some papers and some stickers that I want to put together with the drawing. Your feedback is usually that you like to see me place paper and make changes and experiment, so I kept in most of that in this video. I know that it is pretty long, but I hope that you enjoy it anyway. So here I am just working on my cover page. My plans for this page changed so many times, and since I got the washi tapes in the mail the same day I filmed this, I hadn't really had a chance to plan things very well. So everything that you're about to see in this video is actually me coming up with the theme on the spot, which of course is fun. It's a very fun experience and it is what I like about collaging, but it does take a long time. I think I had about 6 hours of footage of me just moving paper around and gluing stuff. So that's why this video is pretty long. My videos are just getting longer and longer. I'm not sure how to stop. It can get pretty overwhelming if you have a lot of ephemera and a lot of stickers and washi tape that you would like to use. So I like to make some rules for myself. So for this setup, I decided I wouldn't use any black. So no black pens, just the sepia colored fine liners. And then I will write with a brown Muji gel pen or brown ink in my fountain pen throughout the month. That's the plan for now. And this forced me to think a little bit differently about how I do things. I couldn't use my stamp pad, for example. I had to use a marker, which you'll see later because I only have a black stamp pad. And it really brought forth, I think, the colors of the mushrooms and the other stickers because there was no black kind of overpowering all the other colors. It also makes the whole setup appear softer and more muted, which I really like. My biggest concern was actually that the setup would be too similar to my September spreads. So I tried to make these rules for myself to make sure that it wasn't the same, because I am drawing things on separate pieces of paper, I'm using collage. It could easily turn into the same theme twice, right? So some of the steps that I took to make sure that they weren't similar was that I wouldn't use any of the same stickers or washi tape or ephemera. And I also focused on just one fairy girl instead of drawing different types of people, so you'll see me draw the same fairy several times. I did give her a little bit of variation with her dress, but other than that, she's the same. I don't have a name for her yet, so if you guys have any name suggestions, let me know. I don't have a thin brown brush pen. I only have the Tombow dual brush pens in different colors, so I decided to write the November title with the fine liners and then just do like a faux calligraphy, basically going back after and making the downstrokes a bit thicker. And this works really well, so if you don't have a brush pen, this is a great technique that you can use. You probably haven't seen me done it before because I've had brush pens for a long time and I just prefer using them. But in this case, it was great to use faux calligraphy. I'm using the thin nib of a Tombow dual brush pen in the color 942 to make this grid behind the collage. Just felt like it looked a little bit empty without it, and I didn't want to put too much stamps and ephemera on the page, so this was a good solution, I think, and I did bring that with me to the rest of the spreads as well. I'm using a Tombow dual brush pen 977 for all of the stamps, which is a kind of reddish brown. And that's it for the cover page. I think it turned out really nice. I'm very excited. Even though I didn't have a plan, I feel like it still turned out exactly how I had imagined it, if that makes sense. Next up, I am making my calendar spread, and I'm changing things up this month more so than I have before. And I just felt like I wanted something different. You know, for October I made a big calendar, and then before that I've had like a smaller calendar, but it's always been a grid. So this time I made a small calendar on the left side just to have like the dates there, to just easily see which week is which. And then on the right side I made a Ryder Carroll style calendar. I have done this before in my bullet journal, but it's been a while, so I thought it was time to try it again, just see if I like it more this time than I have before. I feel like sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to organize my brain that way when it's not as visual, but I guess it all comes down to practice, so, you know, I'm practicing. I did want the spread to be more than just a calendar spread though. I wanted it to be more of a dashboard type of spread, which you've seen me make many times before. So what I did was I made a little rectangle here at the bottom, which will hold my goals for the month, because November is quite an exciting month for me. I think it's time to talk about what I am going to do, because I don't think that I've mentioned it in a video yet. I have hinted at it on Instagram and I have told my patrons all about it over on my Patreon page. But basically I am going on a trip. It's a pretty long one. I am going to the US And my partner and I are going to spend some time with his family because due to everything that's been going on the past couple of years, we haven't really been able to go. The US has had a travel ban on Europeans, so we haven't been able to go together, and now they're finally opening in November, so we're going. We don't really want to pay rent here in Oslo while we're there because we are staying there for a couple of months. So we're moving out of our apartment. It's pretty stressful, not gonna lie, but every day get a little bit closer. So that's what's gonna happen. I'm leaving the second week of November and we don't really have a plan. And this is the reason why I am closing my online shop for a little bit, because I need to figure out things. But I'm still gonna be making videos, my regular Patreon content and Instagram and everything. Nothing is gonna change with that, so don't worry. But yeah, it's a pretty big life change for me, but it's not as drastic as it might seem actually, because I'm used to traveling around a lot, and it may not seem that way from my YouTube channel because many of you started following me this year or the year before. That's kind of when my channel grew from more than a couple thousand subscribers to like 20,000. But I grew up in Oslo and I lived here until I was 19, and then I moved to Japan, and then I moved to the US, I moved back to Japan. I didn't come back to Oslo again until I was 25 or 26, and then I've been here since. I did my master's degree here, and then, you know, the Rona happened and all of that. And now that things are kind of going back to normal, I'm also kind of wanting to live my life the way I did before. I've become extremely comfortable here, so it is a little bit sad to leave. Of course, it's always difficult to leave my family behind. That gets harder every time I leave. And I noticed that even before all the lockdowns happened and everything, but it's even more difficult now. So we'll see how it goes. I am positive and I am very excited for the future. So I hope that you'll stick around and see what I get up to. Maybe they will open up for tourism to Japan eventually. That would be great. So yeah, that's my big announcement. It's pretty exciting, and I hope that you're excited too. I won't be bringing very much stationery over to the US because, you know, it weighs a lot and takes up lots of room in my suitcase. So I'd rather just buy what I need there. And I think that can be a fun challenge for me as well. Oh, and I guess I didn't mention where in the US I'm going, but I'm going to be in Salt Lake City in Utah, so lots of desert adventures. I'm pretty excited for that because the nature in Utah is really beautiful, and we hope to go on lots of road trips. I really want to go to Yellowstone, for example. That's been on my list for ages, and we never got to go last time I was there, so hopefully this time. So that's it for the calendar spread. The planning part of it is really simple, but it still looks super busy because of all the collage items, and I think that that's really fun. It's exactly how I wanted it to turn out. This next spread is also going to be a planning spread for the month, but first I'm going to color in this drawing that I drew while my phone was charging. I do film my videos with my iPhone 11 Pro, and sometimes it needs a little extra charging in between takes because it can't handle filming for 6 hours straight, understandably. So here I am drawing my little fairy or elf or whatever she is. Again, this time she's not sitting on a mushroom, but she's experiencing some magic in the forest is kind of the idea. You'll see when I put everything together on the page. I had this idea in my mind while I was drawing her. Her dress is the same color as before, but it just looks a little bit different. This one has short sleeves instead of off the shoulder sleeves. This spread is going to have an overview of each week of November as well as a small to-do list. I didn't want to make the to-do list too big, but it still has room for quite a lot of tasks. And then there is a box for each week where I can write down things that are happening this week or projects that I'm working on for those weeks. I've said this before in a previous video, but it is kind of nice to divide projects and weeks this way so that I know that this week this is what I have to work on, and then there's another project that I can wait until next week to work on, because it can easily get a bit overwhelming and I usually want to do a lot of things at once, but then I end up not doing anything because there's just too much at the same time. So this really helps me. I made the frame similar to the frame on the cover page to kind of tie those together, and then I used some washi tape from the washi tape set from Notebook Therapy to make a little header for each week. And then for the bottom right corner, which is my least favorite part of a spread because it's always harder to write on that part, that I put a little collage there instead so that I won't really have to touch it while I use the spread, and I thought this was pretty clever. I'm pretty happy with myself. So I'm using the scrapbook paper as kind of the ground or the dirt of the forest floor, and then I used mushrooms to show that the elf or the fairy is small. I'm thinking kind of Ariete sized or Thumbelina sized if you're older like me. For the title, I just wrote this month in faux calligraphy again. I wasn't really sure how to title it, but I think that this works well. And then for each week, I wrote the numbers of the week on a separate piece of marker paper, and then I glued those to the washi tape. So I think that this might be just like a Norwegian thing or maybe a Scandinavian thing to number the weeks like this. But it's always like, so do you want to hang out sometime this month? And I was like, yeah, I might have time in week 46. And we use this in school and at the workplace, so that you instantly know which week of the year that you're talking about. But you usually need to have your calendar ready, because otherwise how would you remember? The only thing I remember is that fall holiday is always in week 40. Only for children though, that's a school holiday. But anyway, not really important, but a fun fact, I guess. Let me know if you do this in your country as well, because I know that at least Americans that I know have been very confused by this, so I'm guessing it's not a thing in the US. The final touches to this spread is to place some of the washi stickers that came with the washi tape set, and also cutting some strips of washi tape in two to make them a bit thinner, because then they don't take up as much space and I can kind of put them in parts of the spread where there isn't that much room, but I still want some decoration. The final spread I am going to make is a habit tracker on one side and then a playlist on the other side. This is mostly for fun. I'm only going to track about 4 habits. I think I'm actually going to call it a habit tracker instead of focus this month, and I'll show you later, but it just looked better with a longer title than a shorter one this time. So the first thing I'm doing is to draw another fairy, or I guess the same fairy, but on another mushroom. This red color was so juicy. I was so worried it was going to bleed everywhere, but luckily my marker paper is really good, so it didn't even feather, which was great. In this drawing, I really wanted her elf ear to be visible, just to kind of accentuate the fact that she's not a person, but she's a little elf or a little fairy. What is the difference really? I don't really know what the difference between an elf and a fairy is, but I'm sure there are many differences. So, you know, if you want to let me know in the comments what you know about fairies and elves, that'd be pretty cool. I used reference photos for all of my drawings, actually, for the pose. I find it very helpful to look at a picture of someone sitting or standing in the certain pose that I want to draw, because anatomy can be pretty hard, and looking at reference photos helps me also practice different positions. So I really recommend using reference photos when practicing drawing. I really wanted this spread to be as colorful and busy as the other spreads and not have too much empty space. So again, I used some of the scrap paper to make a kind of ground layer, I guess. And then I just built everything on top of that. So I'm layering some washi tape on the side here just to make a little border and use that for main decoration. It does mean that I won't have as much room for the actual habit tracker, but I'm not too worried about that. I wanted the end result to be pretty whimsical and fun. I used this stamp from Notebook Therapy to make little calendars, but I guess I didn't clean it off properly because when I added my brown marker and I stamped it on the page, it still turned out black. So that's kind of the opposite of what I wanted. I didn't want any black in these spreads, but after cleaning it off even more and cleaning off the brush pen, it still came out black. And so I just kind of went with it, and I can handle a little bit of black, I guess. I used this see-through washi tape from the Maple Dreams washi tape set because they kind of fit perfectly on top of each calendar. And then my plan is to just write each habit that I want to track just next to the calendars. It doesn't have to be too neat. And as you can see here on the top, I am writing habit tracker instead of focus because it just fit better, I think. It just looked a bit weird with focus being such a short word, while habit tracker kind of took up more space in the top there so that it didn't look empty or anything. So that's why I did that. And then my plan for the other page is a little playlist. Really like these spreads. You kind of just put together a few songs that you listen to a lot that month, and then looking back at it maybe years later, at least for me, listening to songs that I listened to a lot at a certain time in my life, it really reminds me of what I felt at that time. So my idea here is to kind of make the spread opposite of the habit tracker. So instead of having the decoration to the left bottom side, I am putting the decorations to the top right side. I'm using the same washi tapes, and then I'm just using some leaf stickers and the same kind of ephemera. And then I'm making 4 boxes for 4 songs. I don't really think that I need more. And then I wrote the title playlist at the bottom instead of the top. So now it's kind of the opposite of the habit tracker spread. I did cut out some washi tape to put in the boxes because they felt a little bit empty. And then of course I made the same grid as I did before on all of the other pages, which I think gives the whole setup a cohesive look because they all have the same background. The final touch was really to use the stencil set from Notebook Therapy to make these little play buttons. It's not like these boxes are supposed to represent anything in particular, it's just a box and it has the play button just because it fits the whole playlist thing. And those are the 4 monthly spreads I am making for November this year. I think that they turned out really cute, and I'm really happy with all of the brown tones. It's very soft and muted and fall-y. Thank you again so much to Notebook Therapy for sending over all of this stuff, making this theme possible. If you are interested in purchasing from them, you can use my affiliate code mochibujo10. It will give you 10% off your order. They also have lots of other discounts going on from time to time, and if you click on my affiliate link, you can use those discount codes and still let them know that you came from me. And now I am sure that you're all excited about the giveaway that I mentioned earlier in the video. What I want to give one of you guys is one of the Kraft paper notebooks that Notebook Therapy sent me. I picked out the deer one because it is very special. I also think that it looks so great with the Kraft paper, so I want one of you guys to have it. And I'm also giving away a washi tape set. To enter the giveaway, you'll need to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. You need to follow me on Instagram and also follow Notebook Therapy on Instagram. I'll also need you to write a comment under this video telling me about your favorite thing about fall, and don't forget to include your Instagram handle in your comment so that I can find you on Instagram and announce whether you won. The giveaway will run until November 2nd, and I will announce the winner both here on YouTube and on Instagram. I'm doing it this way this time because it's happened way too many times that the winner of my giveaways on YouTube doesn't see that they won when I post to my community page, and I want to avoid that. If you win, you will need to let me know your name, address, email address, and phone number. So please make sure that you have a guardian's permission if you're underage. All there's left to do now is wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. Check out notebooktherapy.com and remember to use my affiliate code mochibujo10 for 10% off. I earn a small commission, so this is a great way to support me. Check out my Instagram for more pictures of my bullet journal and my pen pal letters. I'm also on Patreon and make printable journaling kits and sticker sheets. And that's all for now. I hope that you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!